everybody. Today, Rahdo runs down Isle of Skye Journeyman, which is an expansion to the wonderful tile-laying game Isle of Skye, where 2 to 5 players are trying to build up their own perfect slice of the Scottish Highlands. And now, what Journeyman adds is so much. Each player gets this huge board that ends up taking up as much space as the entire game used to do. There's a lot going on here, and I'm just going to give you a little bit of an idea of what this board adds. I'm assuming you already know how to play Isle of Skye. If not, you can hit that eye in the top right corner screen and watch my old run through. But here's the situation. I'm the blue player. We're a few rounds in, and this is what I've managed to build so far. And like at the beginning of every round, we get our income. I've got 5 plus 1 for this whiskey. So let's just go on ahead and get $6 and add to my coffer. Each player draws 3 tiles, from the big old bag and puts them on display. Right, so there's some cattle and some sheep and a journeyman. There's about a half dozen, maybe 8 tiles, I don't remember exactly how many, of these journeyman tiles that get thrown into the bag. And they are very, very valuable to collect if you can get them. And now, like always, I'm going to have to set prices and destroy one of these. I would love to get that journeyman. Maybe I set it as a value of 4, so if somebody's going to buy it from me, hey, at least I'll make some cash. Which of these 2 will I destroy? Do I want some cows? You know what? Looking ahead on my Journeyman board, yes, I do. My Journeyman, which started out at the beginning of the game right here on my start castle and over the course of the game journeys around the board, he is going to want to visit some cattle pretty soon. So that cattle could come in pretty handy, I think. And yeah, I really want this tile as well. So this is the tile I'm going to destroy. And let's say I value this tile, say, at 3. Okay. And then everybody else does it. Everybody reveals at the same time. And, whoever has first player starts buying stuff from everybody else. And so this was gone. And let's say Jen said, oh, I really want that journeyman tile for myself. She ended up buying it. And now I'm $2 richer. Like, no, but hey, I don't mind, because there is now a new bonus. Whenever a player buys a tile from you, and you can take solace in the fact that you just got a lot of cash, but hey, you probably want that tile for yourself. You get another consolation prize. Whenever a tile is bought from you, you get to move forward 1 space on this top Journeyman track. There are 3 tracks on here. This one, and this one, which unlock all kinds of bonuses. And the bonuses themselves a lot of them are randomly distributed as part of setup. So every time you play, you're going to have a slightly different board. Now, what it means to move forward on one of these tracks is, this is where I currently am on the warrior track. Because I've had one bought off from underneath me, I get to move forward 1 more space, which doesn't do anything for me immediately. But if I cross over 1 more space by having my journeyman travel around the world and meet a cow, then I will score 2 victory points. If after he meets that cow, he were to journey around the board and go check out a sailboat, like this one I've got up here to the north, he would move up here, and I would unlock this bonus, which increases my journeyman's ability to move. So anyway, because Jen bought for me, I have gotten 1 free bonus move on the track, which means my guy does not have to travel to visit a lighthouse. You can see, I grabbed this tile because I wanted the lighthouse, because I knew he had to visit the lighthouse. I knew he had to visit cattle. That's why this tile was so great for me. He was going to be able to visit this and deal with those. But as it is, he doesn't need to visit the lighthouse because I got that. And I don't know, let's say it's my turn, and I don't buy anything from Jen. Because she priced her stuff too high, or she didn't have stuff I wanted. So I'm done. This round, I'm only going to add 1 tile to my board. Now, like always, I'm going to go ahead and add it. And where do I put it? I think I will... Oh, this water is kind of limiting. And this mountain. I want to put it right here, because I want my journeyman to be able to make a trip to it really quick and easy, but I can't place it because I've got to match up terrain correctly. Drat. Let's see, 71, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, this is a bummer. I want this guy to go visit this cattle. But, all right, let's go on ahead and put it, say, right here. There we go. Yeah, that'll do. All right. Not ideal, but it'll work. All right, so I placed my 1 tile. Meanwhile, Jen's placing the tile she got for me. Now, normally, that would be it. At the end of the round, after everybody's placed their tiles, then we just go on to scoring, using the ABCD method. But there is an extra step now. Our journeyman will go a-wandering. Everybody starts the game with 2 milestone tiles or way markers. I forget what they're called. Oh, what are they called? They are called just markers. No, they're not. What are these called? Waypoints. Everybody starts with 2 waypoints, although you can see, oh, hey, I've just unlocked my 3rd waypoint because when Jen moved me up here, I unlocked my 3rd waypoint. I've got 3 waypoints. My other players might have 2. That means I can set 3 destinations for my journeyman to walk around. Now, at the beginning of the game, he can only spend 4 movement points. But if I move him a couple more spaces up, he'll unlock this, and he can move up to 8 points to visit, or 8 movement to visit these 3 waypoints. Now, where do I want him to visit? Well, I want him to visit a cow, to move forward on this line, and then a sailboat. To move forward on this line, I want him to visit a sailboat. As you can see, I've got a sailboat up here. To move forward on this line, which will unlock a road and a victory point, as an example, I need him to visit my northernmost tile, which is here. So, if I have him come over here, he could be visiting my northernmost tile, or he could be visiting a sailboat. He's also visiting one of the brochs, but that doesn't matter because, away over here, when I get all the way up here, I'd want him to visit a broch, and away over here, I'd want him to visit a broch, but for now, I'm not too terribly worried about that. So, I want him to come up there because that would let me move up here. I'd get 2 victory points, and I'd get a road. And that would be really cool. But I also want him to visit the cattle over here so I can move forward here and I'll get 2 points and I'll cross a bridge, which is really cool. I also want him to come over here for a sailboat. So where am I going to have him walk? I can tell him to go up to 3 places. I told him to go to 1 place, but here's the problem. I remember I said at the beginning of the game, I've got 4 movement points. Later on, I could unlock it to where I've got 8. It cost me 1 movement point to travel along a road. It cost me 2 movement points to travel off-road. So if I want to, I could spend 1, 2, 3 movement points and I could get over to that cow. And then I'd have 1 movement point left over. Or I could go 1, 2, 3, 4 and swim across this canal to make it up there. And all my movement would be done and I only would have visited 1 milestone because I couldn't move anymore. So what do I want to do? What's more important? Is it more important for me to get up here to do the sailboat and improve my movement? I'll be moving 5 steps instead of 4, and then there's that +4 over there. Or do I have him come over here? No, I think I want him to go to the northernmost space. So even though I could give him more milestones, it doesn't really matter. This is the only milestone I care about. Now, you're not allowed to put more than 1 milestone on a given tile, which is a bummer, because I'd like him to come up here because it's my northernmost space, plus it's a boat space, so I'd like him, when he comes here, to visit both of these milestones so he can move up on both of these tracks, but I can't do that, only 1 cube per space. So, I could put one over here, heck, I could put one over here, it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to arbitrarily do it. And now, everybody simultaneously plans out how their journeyman is going to travel, and then in player order, we actually watch them play out. And so when it comes around to me and I'm going to say, okay, I got 4 total movement points I could spend, I've got 3 places to go, how am I going to do it? I will spend 1 movement to come here. This is a milestone. And now, if, say, my journey was over here, I'd say, hooray, he's visited some sheep, which gave me a victory point. If I was over here, I'd say, hooray, I'd visit some sheep, and he would give me a free move on any one of the tracks. That'd be awesome. But as it is, I visited here, but he doesn't want to see, so that didn't really matter. I've got 2 more movement. I'll spend 2 movement to come up here, and I've hit my 2nd milestone. And I say, hey, I had him visit not the boat, but my northernmost space, which immediately scores me 2 more points and immediately gives me 1 road and 1 more point. This is a road, folks. Players can earn up to 3 of them. If I move this track up here randomly, because of the random setup, I'll get 2 more roads. Roads are really awesome because they can make roads that didn't used to exist before. Like say, oh, I'm so bummed that this whiskey barrel way over here is not connected to my castle, and therefore it will not make money for me. Someday I have to put a road here to make the connection. I can now just build a road between these 2 tiles, and now this whiskey barrel is built right up next to it. There's some restrictions for when you can build and all that, but ultimately, when I put this road here, I'm going to be increasing my income. Plus, it makes it quicker. Now it would cost me 1, 2, 3, 4. I could, in 4 movement, make it all the way from up here over here because traveling is faster along roads. Why would I want my journeyman to come back to the castle? Because the castle counts as a wild. Oh, I should say, so I've earned that. Hooray! Just like I earned this. Coming back to a castle counts as visiting anything, but you gotta pay money when you visit the castle. If I desperately wanted to visit a cow, instead of having him walk all the way, although I could do it, 1, 2, 3, because again, I got these roads now, but instead of walking all the way over here, he could visit the castle where I would pay $3, because this is in the second category, and I'd say, oh, he found a cow at the castle. I could visit the castle in the future and pay $3 and say, oh, he found a boat. If I had no boat anywhere, the castle is a wild card. If you can't get the tiles you need to have the journeyman go to the places you want. But as it is, I had him come up here, and he still had more movement, so I probably, he only had one more, so he couldn't make it back down here, so that was it. He's stuck. On a future turn, I'm going to want, on a future turn, I could say, hey, you know what? And he'll never make it down here, so that's fine. I could say your first milestone is where you are, because that means he'll visit the boat. And then I want him to go to a completed mountain range. I don't have a completed mountain range. I need to build one, maybe over here, and then I can have him walk over to the completed mountain range. But I also want him to visit the cow. So I'm going to want him to go 1, 2, 3 to visit the cow to give me the points, and get me one step closer to visiting the boat. So, with the Journeyman expansion, this game explodes in depth and complexity, but in the best possible way. Because now your concerns are about how to build the best fiefdom to be able to score points off of all your objectives, but also to be able to give your Journeyman all the different places he wants to visit to unlock tons of different special bonuses. Money, points, and all kinds of other stuff as well. And every time you play, you're going to get these all jumbled around and shuffled up. So you're always chasing different objectives. Also, because when other players buy from you, you automatically get to go on the top track for free, which, by the way, is the longest one. There's a lot of stuff. If people buy from you a lot because you price appropriately, that can be a trip to victory because you get all this free advancement. You don't get free advancement on the middle or the bottom tile, and in fact, on the bottom tile, which is the most valuable one, when you cross these bridges, you have to pay 5, 8, 12 gold to be able to jump to these higher and higher, bigger payday rewards. But, one more thing I forgot. If all that wasn't enough, there's one more element that gets added to the game, 4 new objective tiles that really mix things up. This one encourages you to get matching icons in the same row. Every time you do, that's 2 points. This one encourages you to get those brooks spread all over the place because you get a point for every row and column that has at least 1 in it. This one gives you points for the further you travel along your personal Journeyman progress path. Every time you pass those bridges, that's our points. And this one makes you want your Journeyman to travel very, very far away from your castle. The further away he is, the more points you score. So these are 4 very cool new objectives as well. That, folks, is, in a nutshell, what the Journeyman expansion is all about, and it is so awesome. Roads you can put down wherever you want, extra depth and complexity to the planning. Isle of Skye was already in the top 10 best games of the year, but Isle of Skye basically was kind of just a gateway plus. If you've introduced people to Carcassonne and you want to take it to the next level, it was a really good next step. Now, Isle of Skye with the Journeyman expansion becomes, I'm not going to say it's a heavy Euro, but it is definitely a mid-weight Euro that can go toe-to-toe with all the other mid-weights out there, and it is so rich and compelling and just fun. Moving this little guy, planning his movement, getting bonuses when other players help you out, even though they didn't want to, but they need that tile that you priced just right. It just makes Isle of Skye all the sweeter. This is just about a perfect expansion, and I cannot imagine wanting to play Isle of Skye without it, unless I'm playing with new players, because like I said, it is definitely the deep end of the pool. It is excellent. It is Isle of Skye Journeyman, and that's the rundown, folks. Thanks very much for watching. Have a very nice day. Talk to you later. So long. Bye-bye.